You are listening to the Marketing 32 Show with your host, Brett Allen.
Hi, Brett Allen here, host of the Marketing 32 Show, where I connect with leading dentists, dental influencers, and industry experts to bring you guys the greatest and latest insights and innovations to help your practice grow and thrive. This episode, as always, is brought to you by our team here at Marketing 32. We're the only dental marketing team that I know of with a performance guarantee that if you're not growing, you don't pay. We're truly invested in your growth. If you need help growing or you're curious about marketing, reach out to us at marketing32.com. We'll have a quick conversation, make sure it's a great fit for both of us. Quick shout out to a recent interview that I had with Catherine Eitelbelt. She did an awesome episode all about effective leadership communication and how teams can collaborate and how you can lead your team. Really great episode. You should go check it out. I have a new guest today, a new friend. Well, not really, kind of new. We met recently this past summer through SCN. Dawn Scott. Welcome to the show, Dawn.
Hello, Brett. I'm excited to be here. I've been looking forward to this conversation all week.
Yeah, it's going to be great. Let me read your intro. She says, what began as a simple short-term gig at the front desk when she was a teenager exploded into a deep, decades-long mission, exploring the incredible power of human connection through dentistry. Dawn's mission, 30 years in the making, is to show other dental professionals how to treat patients as a whole people and build genuine connections that make going to the dentist feel comfortable, safe, and truly positive. I love that.
Yes.
I think as we get into your story and how you got into dentistry and what you're doing today and your journey over the years as a treatment coordinator, I think there's a lot of value in what you'll share about connecting with people to increase production, to increase the flow in your practice, get patients to actually accept the treatment they need, all of that.
Exactly.
Oh, tell us your story. I know this goes back to when you were a teenager, but let's hear that story. So how did you get into a dental office as a teenager?
Yes. So my senior year in high school, I worked for a furniture company, and I went to school part-time, worked full-time, and my dentist came in to open an account. I worked at the credit department. The next week, my dad was in the dental office, and the dentist said, wow, Dawn was so professional. What is she going to do after high school? And I wanted to go to college, but I knew I was going to have to work my way through it. So he hired me as his front desk person. So I was always we'll call it administrative specialist. We are not the front desk, but that's how we refer. So he hired me. I didn't know anything about dentistry, but I always loved going to the dentist, and it was the business side of things. So I was excited about that. So I worked full time for general dental, went to college at night. And what I realized at the front desk is I needed to understand dentistry to be able to manage his schedule. And back then it was a single hygienist, 2 operatories, 1 doctor, much more complex now. And so I learned dentistry by default. I would mount full mouth series of x-rays, learned about teeth, did whatever I had to do. And it was really just a means to pay for school, but I didn't want to work in dentistry. I thought I was going to work in international business. I wanted to work for Coca-Cola or some big company that I could travel the world. I love people from all over. And then as a second career, get a PhD and teach college. So I always loved teaching, training, business, but I'm in the dental office, right? So I learned dentistry by default. I finally finished my 4-year degree 7 years later, and I wanted to get my master's degree. The dentist didn't want me to leave, so I'm like, okay, I'm going to hang on a little bit longer, but now I need to drive 2 hours every day to go to school. So it took me 10 years to get my degrees. So I'm finally like, okay, I'm ready to work for Coca-Cola or some big company. So the director of the MBA program had a company. Don Waters was the then CEO of Brasseler USA. They make dental rotary instrumentation, headquartered in Savannah, Georgia. That's where I grew up. That's where I lived. And he was looking for his first MBA intern. And so the director came to me and he's like, Dawn, you have a 4.0, you know about dentists, their customers are dentists. And I said no at first. I'm like, no, I'm supposed to work for Coca-Cola, not dental. That was just a means to pay for school. And he said, when are you ever going to work side by side a CEO? You don't have to work thereafter. So it was my last semester of my MBA. I begrudgingly said, okay. It was the best thing that ever happened to me. I got to be in all the leadership team meetings. And so at the end, when I graduated that December, he not only offered me a job, but he created a department that didn't exist before. And being in marketing, you'll appreciate that. This was the early 2000. It was called business intelligence. So now we know that to be the secret sauce and the gold of our customer buying habits, right? So we had a
Yeah.
sales force, and our IT guys could query information out. Our sales reps needed it, but they didn't know how to communicate. So I was the liaison between sales and marketing. I took information out, I put it in a format. I taught the sales reps how to walk into those dental offices and better
Oh,
serve
okay.
them and to grow the practice. I did that for 3 years. It was my dream job. My husband did ROTC in college. We met in college. He did 1 week in a month, 2 weeks a year. So for 10 years, peacetime. Well, I finally graduated. We bought a house. We want to have a baby. And he gets deployed to Afghanistan after 9/11. So he missed the
Oh,
birth of our
wow.
oldest daughter. Next life shift. So it took me 10 years finally get this opportunity. And we moved from Savannah to Dublin, Ohio. His mom owned a restaurant. She wanted to grow the restaurant. We never wanted to be in the restaurant business. We would just come visit once a year. But when your husband goes to war and misses a baby and comes back, it changes your life and your perspective. And I'm like, you know what? As long as we're safe and happy and together. So I worked for Brassler from home for a year, but I'm a
Okay.
people person. I don't want to just log into a computer.
Yeah.
So I hired somebody into my position, had 3 more children. I tried for 3 and got a bonus. My youngest are twins. And so here I am helping grow the restaurant business, being a mom, and I took my daughter to an orthodontic exam, and my twins were in 1st grade by this time, just a few weeks into 1st grade, and the treatment coordinator said, "Have you ever thought about going, back to work?" So dentistry kept finding me. It was the first
Oh, it kept
dentist,
pulling you in.
then Don Waters, so it's like I never solicited, and I thought, okay, I'll do this 1 or 2 days a week until, I raise my kids, and then I can really do, what I wanna do, and so I always loved dentistry, but I thought that I had to have some big corporate office and fancy title to
Mm,
make some kind of impact in the world,
mm,
and so what I've learned over the last 35 years and have really come to embrace as I connect with patients, especially in orthodontics, we do complicated cases, it's not just about braces and aligners. I have
Yeah.
patients that come in, they feel ashamed of their smile. They've got missing teeth. Their teeth have extruded. Now we've got to straighten everybody up to even have room for that implant. They haven't smiled in 30 years because they feel this shame.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Connecting with them and making them feel comfortable about their dentistry, they'll say yes by default. We want patients to say yes to their dentistry. Number one, it's good for business, right? We're in the business of making money. That's the business side of dentistry. But we want them to say yes because it's good for them. It's what they need. We're living longer. We want our teeth
mhm,
to endure the journey. And it took a lot of courage to walk in the door. So I realized being able to um, really see the shame and the embarrassment, or maybe they're just nervous about going to the dentist. Maybe they're afraid they can't afford it because it's expensive. Orthodontics,
Yeah.
it's going to be 4,000 to $10,000 in one lump sum.
Yeah.
So I
Big investment.
realized
Yeah.
that dentistry has found me to be able to connect with patients and say, "Hey, it's okay. You walked in the door, and that was the first step, and we're gonna figure it out together." So I ended up
Right.
being in this treatment coordinating role, and I didn't know anything about orthodontics, so I taught myself orthodontics, about the appliances, and when I shadowed other TCs, their process did not feel authentic to me. I feel like it didn't create an environment. It was very, "Hey, this is us and this is what you need," very our
mhm,
focus. You have to
mhm.
meet patients where they are, and you have to be able to allow them to tell their story to even know where to start, and that's
Yeah.
where the magic is.
Yeah. No, that's great. And I'm so excited with where you're at now and how you're helping treatment coordinators and what you're doing from an advisory consulting type role and what's coming in the future. I
Yeah,
know I know this is early for you, but I think you're hitting on something that's so important, and that's how do we increase case acceptance and the link between marketing and practice experience and the teams. Like everything is marketing, everything's linked together.
it
But
is.
I think what you said is perfect, where it's like, look, if you're treating people as people and you're connecting with them and being genuine in that conversation, then the byproduct is, okay, I'll move forward with
Yeah,
treatment. It's not, yeah,
when they feel, "I want it for you as much as you want it for you, let's make it happen." I sell hope. The pre
yeah,
the dentistry is yes by default. I sell hope that, hey, you are worthy. You are deserving of this. It's not selfish. It's not cosmetic. It's making them feel comfortable. And, in this era, there's a lot of competition. There's a dentist on every corner, multiple buildings
Mhm.
across the
ev-
street,
yeah,
choices. They're advocates for themselves. You have DSOs, anybody compete on price, right? So, how, let's say, as a private practitioner, whether you're a specialist or a general dentist owning your own practice, maybe you're not the least cost, maybe you're not the most logistically close. How are you going to get them to say yes to you? The X factor is how people feel when they're in your office matters in how they make their decisions. And so making them feel comfortable, they're going to say yes all day long, even if you are a higher price, or they have to go out of their way because they feel safe and comfortable. How do we create that environment? It's possible. So I'm on a mission to change how people feel about going to the dentist. Dentistry has gotten a bad rap for a long time, ever since it was created as a science, right? People used to go to the barber shop and the medical doctor to have their teeth extracted when they were in pain. So it's an uphill battle. And
Mhm.
unfortunately, that carries through. So why in 2025 are people still afraid to go to the dentist?
Right.
They
Yeah.
shouldn't be, right? And
Yeah.
so being able to work with dental professionals and have them see a filter by which to enter the patient's story and start there, not be so directive. The dentistry is gonna find itself, we're making 2
Uh-huh.
assumptions that the patient needs the dentistry and we do good dentistry. Those are the 2 assumptions. Everything else, being able to figure out what bucket has the barrier. So Marketing 32 does a really great job in getting patients to the front door, but it's what's happened it happens when they walk
Right.
through the
Yeah,
door.
we can't do everything. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not just, the most obvious is pronounce their name right and
Yeah.
maybe Google their name and figure out how to say it, and if you butcher,
Yeah.
apologize for it because somebody's name is so personal, and so it starts there with making you feel like, "Hey, you
Yeah.
matter, and I'm gonna get your name right." To welcome to our office, this is a comfortable space. When you go to a friend's house, if you feel comfortable or not sitting on their sofa and having a cup of coffee, it's
Yeah.
that feeling, and it's
Yeah.
possible to create authentically when you let them lead the story. Everybody has their baggage to unpack, and I joke and say, sometimes it's a little box and I take the lid off and, we kind of revisit it. Sometimes it's a U-Haul truck beeping as
Yeah.
they
You
walk
got a
through the
big
door.
big
Go
job.
look at the baggage. To be interesting, you have to be interested, and they have
Mm.
to know that
I
you
love
care
that.
where they're coming from, and you start there and then you pivot. So there's not a one size fits all. How you say and what order you say it matters to how that person needs to hear it, and that's where
Mhm.
magic starts.
I love that. The experience of the patient when they come in, making them feel like connected, right? This reminds me, you guys, if you don't know about Dawn Scott, she's the treatment coordinator at Cook Orthodontics in Dublin, Ohio.
Yes.
And if you go look up that practice online, you go look at their pictures on social media, which Dawn helps manage and everything, you'll see it's the gold standard
It
for
is.
dentistry in terms of like a patient experience, high lots of ops, a great team. You sent me
Yeah,
your
some of those
Halloween.
are
I'm
very
showing the
constructive.
camera. Yeah, this is their Halloween group,
Yes,
their Halloween costumes.
office.
But I mean, if you just look at the practice, you can tell that's a high end practice. Like this is a
Yes,
nice practice,
it is.
and you probably have a lot of ops. The
We
team.
do,
I mean,
we do.
when I think of a practice and I think of, because I drive around town, I meet with dentists all over. We have a team of awesome people. We've helped over 260 practices. And we worked with the small solo practitioner who just has an assistant, all the way to the high end multi-location 27, 30 offices, one brand. There's a whole spectrum of practices, right? And there's a whole spectrum of what type of patient experience you're curating. And I think it's so important for teams to recognize that it's not just when they're in the chair and the doc is talking to them. What goes into a patient saying yes is starts with what is it like when they experience you online? How do they find you? What are they hearing about you in the community? All the way through to what it's like when they come to the front desk, what it's like when they're walking back, what they're hearing, smelling. It's a choreo like you said something to the effect of it's a byproduct. The yes is a byproduct. So
It
all
sells
of this
itself,
builds.
all of it, and you can't shortcut that, and that's the thing. If you invest time on the front end to get to know that patient, make them feel comfortable, it doesn't take much. It just takes the right things, And then they let their guard down. So within 5 minutes, now, if you walked into our office and you saw the physical office, it's pretty amazing. Now, some patients, the first read is, oh, I don't even know if I can afford to come here. It's so beautiful.
Oh, yeah, because
Right?
they're
So
yeah,
sometimes it can come back to be like, oh, maybe it's too fancy, you know?
too
We want
expensive. This place is gonna cost
That's
a lot.
exactly
Yeah.
right. And so sometimes we'll joke about that. Well, how will they be able to joke with you about that if they don't even feel comfortable saying it? But people
Mm,
say that to me. It's like mini therapy sessions in my office, and I joke it's because I care about them and I want them to feel comfortable. And I say, hey, guess what? My parents couldn't afford braces when I was growing up. I had to pay for them myself. Guess what? My
yeah.
kids had palate
Kind of
expanders.
kind of
I was
bring it
actually
back. Yeah.
I was actually the parent across the desk. When we can lean in and share those stories, it matters. It's relatable. So let's say you're a dental assistant, you've never had a crown, um, or let's say you have virgin teeth and you've never had a filling. Good for you, yay! We love the dental office, right? We smell acrylic and the suction and the zoom of the handpiece. It's our everyday. But there are patients that walk in the door and they're instantly tense because it's not their comfortable environment. But we're only thinking about ourselves because that's our happy place. It's not
Mhm.
necessarily there. So just having that understanding of that, and then let's say Mrs. Jones needs a crown and I've never had one. So maybe I can't say, oh, I've had a crown. It's better than what you imagine. I can say, guess what? There was a patient last week who had your same concerns, and she did
Mm.
an amazing job. Everybody wants to feel this sense of community. Everybody wants to feel like, oh, I'm not alone. And I'll
Mhm.
offer up, we have to talk about the not good stuff in dentistry when we're talking about the good stuff. It's sort of like a used car salesman. They're going to tell you everything great about that used car, but avoid all
Yeah.
the bad stuff. So you feel like, oh, this is too good to be
No,
true.
you
What
gotta
is
go
she not
there.
telling
Yeah.
me? You've got to be able to have the hard conversation, you know?
Yeah.
And so being able to say, oh, are braces going to hurt? Or is this procedure going to be a little uncomfortable? Or maybe it's a little more expensive than I thought. But when they know that you're there on their side, say, hey, go look at your HSA and FSA. Let's see if you can add adult ortho to your plan or whatever. When they know that I'm on their side and it's not just, oh, this is what you need. Do you want to sign up for tomorrow? It's not
Mhm.
shallow. We want that person to feel like we care about them and all the parts and pieces. And you know what? Life is hard for everybody. You can find a place that you feel comfortable. Of all places, the dental office, which notoriously has never been. What a nice surprise, and shouldn't all of our experiences be that way? Shouldn't we all feel
Mhm.
like we're not alone? It's really that, and it's teachable, and so there are ways to be able to explain dentistry in a not complicated way that gets patients excited about it, and you co-discover it together. It's not, "Hey, me telling you," it's, "Hey, let's have a conversation just like we are today, Brett."
Yeah. So let's kinda get into the weeds a little bit more of like, I know you're coming out with a program and ways to work with clients in the future.
Yes.
Let's talk a little bit more specifics for our listeners. Like, what are things that they can do? What are things that they can say? What can they work on with their team so that they improve this overall patient
Comfort level.
connection?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is something that's, like, so simple, and when I say it, it'll be so obvious, but it's not done well or often enough, and I call it talk through the walkthrough. So, have you ever had a patient, let's say you bring them back, and you have to take an X-ray, and you go into the X-ray room, and it's this big machine that looks really scary, right? And it's not scary to us because we use it all day long, but it looks scary. Even my adult patients, they're just little kids on the inside, and they have the same fears. Even if they come in and they're very accomplished in their career, they feel nervous too. So patients think they're trying to anticipate what you think you want them to do. And so I call it talk through the walkthrough, and I don't just talk to hear myself talk, which some people might joke about because I love to talk and I love people, but I say it with intention because I want them to know I'm in charge in a good way. You can just let your guard down. You don't have to try to think about what I want you to do. So when I greet them at in the waiting room, if they're new patients, we'll do like a full tour. Let's say it's a patient that
Mhm.
I'm bringing back, Susie, how are you doing today? We're going to take a quick x-ray. Let's say it's a periapical, a bite wing, pan, doesn't matter. CT, we're going to go into the diagnostic records room and I'm going to stop right here and tell the computer what type of x-ray I'm doing. So you can just hang tight for a minute. So now they feel like they can
So you
just stand
talking
there.
through what
Yep,
it
I
is
am
they're doing.
saying these exact words.
Yeah, direct
And so
them.
that way it's not scary. They're not like analyzing it. And then we're going to head over to the machine. And this is actually a new machine. So I'm going to show you a few things about it. So when we do a pan and you're biting on the bite stick, Ours is a new machine, and it's very nuanced whether you're over this thing that I call the speed bump or not, and your teeth have to be in that little groove. Now, if you don't visually point that out to them and they come around, and then let's say the machine is low and this person is tall, and you haven't had a chance to adjust it because they think you want them to walk in and then they bonk their head, it just makes for this whole awkward experience that can totally be avoided
Yeah.
by just saying, hey, hang tight here. I'm just going to get the computer ready and I'm going to show you a few things first. So they know that we're not doing it yet. It lets their guard down instead of like having
Yeah.
to worry and anticipate. I point out the bite stick. So literally when they hold the handlebars and they bite on the stick, they can tell when they're over the speed bump and they go right back and the x-ray is done in 2 seconds. So what does all that matter? Number one, you get an amazing x-ray, which matters, right?
You have to
Number
repeat.
two, they
Yeah.
felt comfortable. And number three, they know that I'm a person that's going to tell them everything we're doing as we do it. Now,
There's no surprises.
there's no
Yeah.
surprises. And so it seems simple enough because it's routine for us, but guess what? We do this 100 times. This is their time. And it's special to
Yeah.
them and it's their
And
experience.
on that 100th time, it's like you're just going through the motions, not
It's a
realizing this is a new
it's
experience
a
for the
new
patient.
person. That is exactly
Yeah.
right. And then when the x-ray pops up, um, you know, let's say you go to a medical doctor for an x-ray and you're not an expert in that field and you're looking at the x-ray and you're like, oh my gosh, that black thing must be something really scary. And maybe it's nothing, but you're imagining, right? We're imagining and anticipating all the bad things you're about to say to me because we all brace for the worst, no matter where
Mm.
we're at. Like, oh, when's the shoe going to drop?
What's the
People feel
news?
that way.
How much is this gonna cost? Yeah.
100%. I need them to be open to hear what I have to say and go along the ride with me. So when you present it that way, they know that there are no surprises and that we find it and we co-discover it together. So when that pan pops up, and I'm actually going to pull it up in my office and not stay in the x-ray room, I'm going to say, hey, this is your pan. I'm going to send it to my computer and we're going to go look at it in my room. And so I've created language to be able to explain dentistry in a not complicated way, whether it's
Yeah.
analogies, it's like getting people to relate. So I'm not going to explain, we take hand wrist growth x-rays in our office. And so there's a skeletal maturation index 1 through 11, and there's certain growth indicators that we coordinate with certain orthodontic appliances when we're doing
Really?
overbite, underbite, trying to help jaws grow. There's certain indicators. And so I'm not going to explain that hand wrist x-ray to a parent who's a physician. Let's say they're a radiologist.
Oh, yeah.
I read their health history and I know they're a radiologist. So I'm going to explain that x-ray differently. Let's say it's a
Mm.
dental professional that comes in. So read the health history and read what the parents do. And so
Do
then
your
you can explain
do
it
due
to them because
diligence,
you know where
know
they're
them.
coming from.
Yeah.
Simple things like that that seem so simple, but we're not cognizant of it and we don't think about it. It's, well, how would I want somebody to explain this if this was my first time? And I see
Yeah.
their visit as the first time every time.
I
It
love
matters.
that you said, you explain everything you're doing, why you're doing it, and then one thing that you pointed out is you tell them how to feel, right? Like, you tell them you can relax.
Hey, just hang
You can
tight.
like, "Just hang tight. This you can relax," and you're guiding their emotions
Yeah.
too. So you
And so now we're
a
emotionally
friend of mine.
connected. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. A friend of mine, Alex Hermosi, he said once, "Sales is a choreographed experience to get someone to say yes." So as you're like you're walking them through an experience, navigating every little speed bump that could come along the way, foreseeing what pain points they may have, it, pricing, like all of these objections, that they manifest themselves before you even get to the case presentation part where you're revealing price.
Yes,
There's these little cues that the patient reveals all throughout the process that if you can address it in the moment, then
100%.
you've done the job, and then you're not because we don't want to address the objections at price.
The objection. No, you want to leave it
Yeah.
out where they're saying, "I can't wait to start. How do I make this
Right.
happen?" And I haven't even gone over the price yet because they don't care. They're gonna
Right.
say yes because of their experience, and if you're
Yeah.
not open to seeing them and hearing them and allow them to share their story, I call it reading between the lines, just very nuanced, and it's not necessarily intuition, it's awareness. Being present with somebody is the best gift that you can give them, right? Being
Mm.
present. I'm not distracted. I'm not checking off boxes of my process, which is how we usually feel with healthcare. It's like, oh, here we go. Just heard me through. No, you're not a number. You're a person.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
you're somebody's dad or mom or child. You know, when little kids come in and they're nervous about palate expanders and maybe they've heard bad things, within 5 minutes, like, yay, when do I get to pick colors and braces? So guess what? Susie's mom doesn't have to try to convince her to be excited about expanders when they get in the car. I've taken that on for them. And so being
Mm,
able to explain things, whether you're working with a child and then nuance to an adult, you can talk clinical talk in a way that doesn't have to sound so clinical and go
right.
back and forth. And it depends on how the person needs me to explain it to them.
Mm,
All of those things matter and how they feel. Psychology and science says so. So much so that Robert Cialdini is the godfather of decision making and influence. And he says, even little things like, so let's say I'm taking an 8-year-old. So we meet in my room. I do the tour, ask them how they feel about visiting the orthodontist. I'll say, do you feel nervous, excited, curious? And sometimes body language is different. Different. They might look like they're nervous, but then they say to me, I'm excited about braces. So I'm like, oh, okay. I wouldn't have picked that up based on you were chewing your fingernails a second ago. So you can't
yeah.
always use just one thing. You build the story. And I'll tell the parent, hey, you just get to relax. If you want to bring a coffee back, you're welcome to do so. We'll be back in a minute. So I take them to the x-ray.
Yeah.
Psychology says that when you're holding a warm drink, it makes you feel warm towards the person that you're with. And I didn't even know that was
Oh,
until I studied Robert Cialdini and
yeah.
yeah, the science of influence. It's amazing how just those little things and just offering a
Yeah.
smile, if a parent brings younger siblings, I always pull out stickers and an art set, and I literally pull their chairs up at the end because guess what that parent gets to do? They get to focus on what I'm saying to them.
Right.
Worry about the 2 and the 3-year-old. And because I have
Right.
4 children under 5, I get it. And so I
Yeah.
want that parent to be full in, and I don't want the distractions, but I want everybody to feel comfortable and welcome. It matters, just
Love
those
that.
little things. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this has been a great conversation. We're about out of time. Like I told you before the
I
show,
know,
this is
it
gonna
goes
go
by
fast.
so fast. I could talk for
Um,
hours.
I always close the show with one question, and that's like if there's one golden nugget you could share, excuse me, that would help push that domino that has this domino effect across a ripple effect in the practice for a treatment coordinator or for a doc.
It could
What
be,
would be that golden nugget advice?
"How do you feel about today's visit?" If you say one thing, "How do you feel about today's visit?" You're
Ooh,
gonna get
that's an
all the
open door.
information you need because nobody asks that. "How do you feel?" I might intellectually understand the dentistry
Mm,
I'm doing today, but nobody asks how I feel about it. And if somebody
mm.
says, "Oh, I feel great," then you're golden, you jump right in. I'm a
Wow,
little
yeah.
nervous." "What are you nervous about?" It allows them the platform, and they
To be
don't have to
vulnerable.
just
Yeah.
brace the whole time and be nervous. "How do you feel about today's visit?" And if they say, "Great," then we're golden. If they say something else, then you lead them to until they do feel comfortable, and it literally
Walk down
just
that
takes a
road
minute
with
to
them.
be like, "Wow, this person really cares about how I feel about today's visit." We should.
How do you feel about today? That's great. I love that.
Would be my one advice. Yeah.
That's
It'll
good. That's
unlock all
good.
the doors of doubt.
Well, I know. So this has been so great. There's a lot of value in this episode. And we'll put other things in the show notes for how they can get a hold of you.
Okay.
We've got your website, donscottconnect.com. Don also speaks, you guys. So if you're doing any kind of study clubs, speaking events, coordinating all of that, she can come and help you and share.
Yeah, I'm actually speaking in February in San Antonio, the American Private Dental Practitioners annual meeting. So, private dental offices. So, I'm very excited about that. Yeah.
Awesome. So where should we, how can people connect with you? Just go to your
Yeah.
website and they can
They go to
connect
their
with you there?
website. Yep. Or they can email me directly, dawn@dawnscottconnect.com. I would really love to be able to just connect and see what your needs are. I'm coming up with a TC workshop that I'll be revealing sometime in the spring. I do keynotes about just my life experience and how that helps me connect with patients.
Mm,
When we have things that we can pull from our own personal experiences, that's when the authentic connections happen. And that's what we've been talking about today. So, how do you make people feel comfortable? It's bringing a piece of yourself and you feeling comfortable sharing and meeting them in the middle. So, I do keynotes and a workshop, and I'm just excited to see where this takes me.
yeah, this is great. This is great. Well, okay, we'll put that email in the show notes as well. So if you're driving or whatever, you can go there. Don, thank you for your time today. This was a great
Thanks
conversation.
so much. All right. See you next time.
Okay, everybody, until next time on the Marketing 32 show, have a great day.